Right, in this video, I'm going to be giving you 5 core systems every construction business needs in order to grow. Without these, you're not going to be able to do it, and you'll have to hire more people or work 80 hours a week. This is how you do it and keep nice and streamlined. And this is the exact system I use to teach my clients so they can scale with confidence. And stick around to the end, because I'm going to give you a nice bonus tip that's going to help you improving your systems as your business evolves. So let's jump straight in. So the first system you have to have is a lead management system. Because if you're currently still relying on random inquiries that are scribbled down on a bit of paper or a diary, or you're putting it in spreadsheets, or you've got some cluttered whiteboard in the office, well, you really need to listen closely, because you're leaving serious money on the table if you're doing that. The harsh truth is most builders will be losing jobs simply because they cannot follow up fast enough. How often does it happen to you where you've realized days later, I forgot to call someone back, or you find that crumpled bit of paper on your desk weeks later that represented a really high value job that you've gone and missed out on because you've not recorded the opportunity properly? This chaotic approach isn't just stressful for you, it's really costing you your growth, your reputation, and control over your business. So what's the solution to all of this? You have to implement a proper CRM system. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management System. And here's what a good CRM system will immediately do for your business. The first thing is every single inquiry gets captured. Nothing slips through the cracks at all. And when those leads come in, they instantly get tracked, they get tagged, and then they get followed up automatically if you set your system up properly. Imagine knowing exactly what's in your pipeline at a single glance. A push of a button, you know exactly how many quotes are out there, what your conversion rate is, you can forecast your workload, and you've never got that sinking feeling of missed out and I've lost opportunities. The second great thing a CRM system does is it helps you respond faster than your competitors. With automatic reminders and task assignments and clear tracking, you quickly become the builder who follows up immediately. And this will impress your clients and ultimately win you more work. And the third thing that it does for you is it just stops the guessing. If you've got a solid CRM, it gives you clarity in control. You know exactly where each lead stands. You know exactly how long your sales cycle is from when you get an appointment to when you send out a quote to when that quote actually converts. And you're also going to be able to work out what jobs generate the most profit if it's recorded in that CRM system. Now, consistency like that in lead management will translate directly into predictable revenue and give you ultimate confidence when you're trying to scale. If you don't have a CRM, you really are doing it blindfolded. Now, if you want to make things even more advanced, you can get some amazing features on CRMs that will seriously level you up. One thing you might want to consider is what we call drip campaigns. Now, this is a drip campaign is where you automatically nurture leads with targeted email sequences, and this warms them up until they're ready to buy. What we don't want you doing is just literally sending a quote out and then expecting a client to make a decision. If you have a drip campaign in place, you're slowly warming them up by dripping them emails every now and again, and you can even customize those drip emails so that it only sends them an email if they open or if they click a certain email. You can then customize the next email that gets sent to them, and it's all automated. Sounds really advanced, and it is advanced, but you can do it with the CRM system. Another thing that you can do, which is an advanced strategy, is use SMS and voicemail drops. What this does is it keeps your leads engaged and just reminds them that you're ready, you're available, you're there to help, and you can do all of that without lifting a finger. And something else you can add is funnels and automations where you segment your leads based on their personalities or their actions, and it guides them down specific paths. So if you quoted for a loft conversion, you could send them down a loft conversion path. If you quoted an extension, send them down the extension path, and have customized paths depending on what client you are pitching to. That really does massively increase your conversion rates. You've also got other options like landing pages and lead magnets that can be built in your CRM, and that will help you capture more qualified leads by offering something valuable up front. So as an example, you might have a pricing guide or a design inspiration ebook. You can create these really quickly now on things like ChatGPT, and that could be a really interesting lead magnet that you can just plug in to your CRM system. Now, my personal go-to CRM is called FlowBuild. All our clients are able to use that for free when they apply, join our membership. But there's other great CRM systems out there like ActiveCampaign or Salesforce. It doesn't really matter what CRM you have. The key is that you're consistent with it and you're nice and organized with it. So if you're serious about scaling your construction business, start by organizing your leads properly. That's the first place to start. And without a robust CRM system, you really are running blind. So that's system number 1 that you must have. System number 2 is a quoting and job approval system. So let's talk about this because this is really critical and something most builders struggle with. Now, too many construction business owners lose time and money on inefficient quoting processes. Now, if you're still using those outdated methods, you're wasting precious hours every single week. And worse yet, if you have inaccurate quotes, it'll actually cost you thousands and damage your client trust. And if you're quoting a big job, you could be in a world of pain for months and months and months if you've underquoted a project. So here's what a streamlined quoting and job approval system would look like. The first thing is, consider using a professional consultant estimator who charge per project. Now, these are experts. They provide highly accurate and detailed quotes. And what this will do is it'll ensure your pricing is nice and profitable and nice and competitive without tying up your internal resources doing this. Or worse, you doing it. You could end up spending hours and hours every week pricing up work. But if you're sitting there thinking just can't afford a consultant estimator, it's just not financially feasible, or maybe you're dealing with a significant volume of quotes, well, invest in developing your own estimation book. The way you can do this, you could hire an estimator on a project basis, and this will help you set up your book initially, because once you've priced a few jobs, you'll notice the same line items coming in again and again. You'll know exactly what you charge per square meter for brickwork, for plastering, for every joist that you install. So once you've got this information, square meter rates, linear meter rates, you'll have your own comprehensive book. And this will become a really efficient reference tool that will significantly speed up your quoting process. Secondly, you want to standardize your pricing guidelines based on square meter rates on various project types. Now, the reason you want to do this because it will give you a nice, quick and clear reference point to give an initial guideline estimate to your clients. What we don't want to be doing is getting a client that comes in, they think their project is going to cost 500,000 and you're going to come in at $1 million. That's just a nightmare. What we really want is if you've got a square meterage rate that you charge and you know you charge, you can quickly say to them, look, I estimate this project based on the square meter, which is going to cost you $1 million. Is it worth me going out and spending a few days pricing this up for you? And that will really dramatically reduce the effort and expense involved in estimating every single job if the client is just a tire kicker or they don't have the budget that you're looking for. The third thing you want to do is make sure you present your quotes really professionally. You spent all this time pricing it up. Please don't send it out on rubbish or really unprofessional software. It just looks terrible if you send a really rubbish Word document or PDF that isn't formatted properly. We want a nice, clear, professional presentation that impresses clients and helps speed up their decision making. And the last thing you want with your estimating is a straightforward approval process. So what we want is we want it to be friction free for your clients to accept their quotes. So we want them just to be able to click a button and say, yes, I approve. And then that turns the job around much quicker, especially if you're doing a lot of quotes and you're winning a lot of work. Just have a one-click approval process, and that just helps your team focus on execution rather than administration, going back and forth, sending contracts and things like that. And if you really want to get advanced, you could actually link your quoting system to your CRM. So when they click the button, the CRM gets updated, you get notified, and then it can push into your project management software, things like that. Really, really impressive. You can send automatic follow-ups out once they approve a quote, and just again improving your efficiency and effectiveness as you start scaling. So if you're serious about scaling up, that's point number 2, system number 2 you have to have in place. You need a job approval system and a quoting system. That's absolutely essential for any builder seriously wanting to scale up efficiently. System number 3 that's really important is your project management system or project management software. Now, every construction project project generally follows a structured rhythm that will help you avoid costly mistakes and delays. And they will generally be things like site preparation, procurement of all the materials. You want to have progress checks in there. You're going to have things like client updates. You'll have completion and snag lists. These are just a few of the things that you have to think about when you're actually running a project. Now, in order to manage each of these stages effectively, you have to have a reliable project management tool. So for daily tasks and basic team coordination, I really love Asana. It's user-friendly, it's ideal for your simple to-do lists and assigning tasks, and you can track deadlines nice and clearly. It just helps your team stay organized and accountable. But maybe if you're handling larger scale projects and you need deeper construction-specific functionality, then you want to consider software like Builder Trend or Procore. Now, I'm not affiliated with any of those or Asana, but Builder Trend is really good. It's a comprehensive project management tool that's tailored specifically for builders, and it has features like job scheduling, budgeting. It even has a client portal, which is really impressive, so your clients can see a certain aspect of it that you give them permissions to view. And it really gives you seamless communication between the client, between you and the site and the office. Procore is also excellent. It's probably maybe a little bit more advanced. If you're hitting sort of the 3, 4, 5 million mark, you may want to consider Procore. That gives you very advanced tools for managing your documents, your budgets, your schedules, real-time project tracking. And again, it ensures transparency and alignment across all the project stakeholders, from the client, the architects, you as the main contractor, and the subcontractors too. Now, these robust solutions will really help reduce confusion. It will streamline that workflow and just make sure everyone stays aligned from start to finish. So make sure it costs you money, but make sure you do invest in a good project management system, and you'll quickly see your projects running smoother and that business scaling effortlessly. So the fourth thing you need is a document and communication system. Now, this is often overlooked, but it's absolutely critical that you have something that's going to store your documents and you have a set system for your communication. Yeah, it doesn't sound very sexy, any of this stuff, but this is really the backbone of how you scale effectively. Now, a lot of people will overlook this aspect and they'll just be relying on scattered emails or random text messages or messy WhatsApp threads or even handwritten notes that end up floating around the office. And the result of all of that is that important files will go missing, client communication becomes really chaotic, you miss deadlines, you start having small misunderstandings, and these small things can really escalate into costly mistakes because you just miss stuff because it's everywhere. And this is frustrating for you, but it also starts damaging your reputation. So here's exactly what you need to do to completely eliminate those headaches. The first thing is centralize your document storage. So every photo, every permit, every plan, and every critical job file must be reliably stored in one secure location. So that could be Google Drive or OneDrive. They're perfect for this, or Dropbox even. And you want to store it by category. You may want to store it by date. But however you do it, you want a nice storage system that can work really well for you, so you can easily review it anytime you need. So that's your storage covered. The second thing you want to think about is your team communication. So we want one clear platform that's dedicated for internal communication. Now, I personally love Slack. I find Slack is really intuitive, it's really searchable, very easy to manage. And what I love about Slack is that you have specific channels that are dedicated to different projects and topics. And what that does is it just ensures that all the conversations, it stays nice and organized and it stays on point. And that dramatically reduces misunderstandings. You're not searching through multiple channels like WhatsApp and email trying to find something. Everything's in one channel. It just keeps everyone aligned in real time. The third thing you want to do is use professional templated emails for your clients, because you're never going to be able to get rid of emails altogether, even if you do use Slack. So try and use regular template emails for updating clients. So maybe you're regularly updating them on project milestones or progress reports or completion notices or invoicing clients. If you've actually got an email template that you build out every time you do that same thing, it's just going to save you time, builds trust, clients like it just keeps your branding nice and in order, and you'll find it's useful for you too. And the fourth thing you want to do with your system is make sure you have a robust SOP. SOP is standard operating procedure, and what that does, it just defines how your tasks and processes are performed, and that just means every team member knows exactly what's expected of them at any point. So when you bring a new hire on board, or maybe you're looking at quality control, if things start going wrong, you think, actually, are we following the process or not? If you've got SOPs, it eliminates that guesswork and it significantly reduces errors. So this is a great system and process to have. So can you just imagine if you've got one centralized, streamlined system where everything you do is clearly documented, it's clearly organized, it's easily found and accessible at a moment's notice. Everyone knows where to find the information, and it's just going to save time for everybody and a lot of headache for you, because it will stop everyone coming to you and asking you questions, because they'll know exactly where to look. Okay, and the last system that we want to be thinking about, system number 5, is your finance and cash flow system. This is probably actually arguably the most critical system in your entire business, because the simple truth is, if the money's not there and the money's not right or it's missing, nothing else matters, does it? Now, the reality is, so many construction companies run into serious trouble because they don't manage finances effectively. And common issues will include maybe poor invoicing processes, unclear payment terms, mixing up your personal and business expenses, or maybe just lack of oversight on a project so you don't actually understand the profitability. And these mistakes will lead to unpredictable cash flow, stressed out owners, and unpaid suppliers. So here's what you need to do to establish a really robust finance and cash flow system. The first thing is implement clear invoicing with predefined payment terms. So every time you send an invoice out, your client should know exactly how long they have until they need to pay that, and you want to have payment deadlines and terms on that. And that will reduce your late payments and disputes and give you nice, steady cash flow. The second thing is closely track your progress payments. So make sure that you've got clear milestones in every project and they are linked to payments each stage, and make sure right at the beginning your client knows exactly when they need to be paying. Once you hit that milestone, they've got to release that cash. If you regularly track that and ensure you're aware of that, it will just help you keep on top of your financial position and stop any unnecessary cash flow delays. And the third thing, you really want to get serious about cash flow forecasting. This is something that is always missed by builders. You want to regularly review how much of your income is going to be coming in, ideally weekly or monthly, and tools like Xero, they'll provide real-time financial reporting and forecasting to give you an immediate insight into your financial health. And if you don't use Xero, just use a spreadsheet to do it, but you really want to know how much is coming in, when it's going to come in, how much is going out, and when it's going to go out. And you just want to look at that table. Are you dipping into the red? Do you need to do something that's going to pull yourself out of it? It's really critical for you to manage your cash flow on projects. And fourthly, make sure you have a strict separation between your business and personal finances. It's a real problem if you start mixing it up. It just leads to confusion, it leads to inaccurate financial statements, and more seriously, you can have tax complications later on. So keep your accounts separate, have an expense record, and keep nice and disciplined with your financial habits so you're not mixing the two together. If you start scaling and mixing them up, it's going to be a real headache trying to untangle it later on. So as I've mentioned, if you're going to track your finances, Xero is really good. You could use what we mentioned before, Buildertrend or Procore, to actually track individual projects, but overall you want to be using a software like Xero that's going to give you a proper profit and loss account on your business performance. You're going to know what's coming in and you're going to know what's going out, which will minimize your risk. You can't grow effectively if you don't understand your financial situation. So they are the 5 systems that you have to have, but I did say there was a bonus coming at the end. The bonus is that you've got to continually review and improve your systems. Now, this is what makes the difference between an average construction business and an exceptional one. Someone who regularly reviews and then improves the system of the business. Now, a lot of people think, oh, once I've put the work in and I've set a system up, it's complete, I don't have to worry about it anymore, I've done my job. That couldn't be further from the truth. your business is constantly evolving. It's not staying static, and you're going to come up with new challenges. You're going to have new workers that join, and you constantly have to look at your systems, because especially with AI now, systems that might have been effective a year ago might now be completely outdated or inefficient for you or insufficient. So what I really recommend is that every 90 days, have a review of your key systems. Look at what's working well, and make sure, as we said earlier, you document those processes. So you have an SOP, and review those SOPs. Make sure they're still relevant and effective. And the second thing you want to do is make sure you actually identify where your systems falling short. It's not going to be perfect every time. So look at, where are the mistakes happening? Are there particular areas where the mistakes are happening repeatedly? Or have we got team members who are consistently encountering bottlenecks or making mistakes? Why is that? Is it a system issue, or is it a team member issue? Oftentimes it's a system issue because you haven't got the right system in place. And the third thing is, actively seek feedback from your team. They're the ones that are normally closest to the daily operations, so see how they're finding the systems. Can they suggest any improvements? They often have really valuable insights in how you can improve a system, so make sure you listen to your team, because you'll get absolute gold from them on what you can improve. And when you are trying to set improvements, make sure you're focusing on what's going to be the most productive for our team, what's going to provide the most profit, and what's going to provide the most client satisfaction. Keep those three big goals in mind, because we can get lost in the weeds sometimes with systems and start improving things that aren't really that important. But if you're looking at productivity, profitability, and client satisfaction, you really can't go wrong. You're going to improve your business if you do that. So that's it. They're your 5 systems, and the last bonus about reviewing. So if you're serious about growing your construction business and you want to do it without burnout, start with those 5 systems. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Just build one system at a time. I'd love to know from you in the comments, which system are you currently working on, or which system are you currently missing out on? If you've liked this video, feel free to share it with others and subscribe for more content and tips like this.